Hey guys, Inorganic Pixel here. I'm doing a quick Mo Krill game. I'm actually surprised I haven't done a Mo Krill game on any of my YouTube channels here. And real quick, I want to kind of address one aspect of my last video where I talked a lot about good and bad laning. This will be an example of bad laning as well. I know the last one wasn't exactly the worst example of like losing lane. This one, though, you're going to see today is going to be a very interesting case of lost lane. I think that has to largely do with how the other team utilized their ults and got value out of their ults, and that's kind of the main central focus of this video. I want to talk a lot about how really getting the maximum value for your ult works, and also kind of addressing like what that means to me at least, and also kind of giving you more of an idea as to like kind of, I guess, understand when you should and should not pop your ult. Typically, the ult is the most important aspect of games like MOBAs or even hero shooters, or really any game like a Team Fortress 2, for example, with Medic. But within Deadlock, a lot of the aspects of ulting revolve around timing, also understanding your opponent and what is available on their end in terms of, you know, spirit damage or bullet damage or even like ult damage, and making sure you're doing it at the right time along with the right spacing and zoning for your team. One of the worst things you could do in this game is dying, of course, but really close to second or third, right? Who even knows fourth, depending on the rank you're at. Utilizing your ult in the wrong time or in the wrong situation can also spell death, and that's really just kind of what it boils down to with, like, you know, games like this, and obviously MOBAs. And ulting is such a crucial component. I don't think that necessarily you have to. And value out of your ult can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different characters within Deadlock. I would say even more so than like other examples like an Overwatch or like a Marvel Rivals or whatever. Your ultimate can be used for a lot of different reasons, whether that's to slow down capture the loss of an objective, or to speed up capturing an objective, to also win fights, to get away from fights, to have basically a second retaliation in the middle of a fight, or to hold off your teammates, keep them alive, etc., etc. I mean, the list goes on, and frankly, it's going to keep going on once Valve comes out with some of those new heroes and everything. And we'll get more into that throughout this video. We'll get more into the ulting aspect of specifically Mo Krill here. His ult is very unique in the fact that it I use it in a lot of different ways throughout this game, and obviously some of them are to get kills, but other cases you'll see are also to stop other heroes on the other team from ulting, or even to keep someone within a certain region to basically maximize damage and whatnot. Mo Krill's ult is a very assist-heavy ult, like a Dynamo, like a Kelvin. However, it's weird. Mo Krill's assistance is really more, it's always focused on making a fight easier or preventing something from happening. You're never, I mean, in some cases you can obviously get enough damage to get a kill, but you're not using Mo Krill's ult all the time to get or drive a kill. You're using it more or less to slow down a fight, stop a fight, you know, and even like change certain aspects of that fight. We'll go into more detail as that goes on later and later. His abilities are also very interesting. His abilities all revolve around, in my opinion, they're best when used against like the farm and minions, and obviously heroes as well. But I'll show you like today, there's a little bit of some like tech and also timing aspects of Mo Krill's ults, or I'm sorry, abilities I should say, and also when and how to use them. Sometimes it's beneficial to actually maybe use the one ability to go underground and move quickly throughout the map and get through a camp, and then wait till your reloading time is done, pop out, shoot everything, reload with Quicksilver, reload with number 1, and then use 3 also to mitigate the amount of damage you might be taking to a camp. I'll get into that later in the video a bit. And actually, that kind of leads me into my I guess another topic. If you really want to dive more into the what I'm talking about when it comes to the technicalities of like how you can get farm quicker, check out my other video that I made on that a while back. I don't think that's one of the videos that I really would need to update a whole lot. I don't talk, I kind of talk generally about some of the little minutiae and some of the smaller aspects of farming with Deadlock that I don't think are going to go away anytime soon. One part of my YouTube channel introductory is that I've been debating about writing a script for a review of Deadlock. The idea is that I would try to get started for it now, so that way when the game does come out, I at least have something ready to go and I don't have to do it the week of. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Let's really get back to the laning piece. Let's get back to talking a bit about lane. We're getting pushed in a little bit. We're really keeping the throws of the souls we're gathering, and also the lane, minion aggression, and everything, I'm actually going to go for this bridge buff. Actually, Infernus told me to take a step back because he was going to go for the speed one. I don't want to leave lane totally open because we're gathering bridge buffs. Bridge buffs can be kind of a double-edged sword. You'll see why in a second here. I'm going to pause the video and actually zoom out to show the full perspective. Paradox grabs me at an insane angle. Thankfully, I do get away. My Infernus, though, unfortunately, does not time his ultimate. And the Paradox timed and used for the placement of her window pane very well. Dynamo ulted really great. I tried to kind of capitalize on this all in some manner, but unfortunately nothing happens. And so at this point, we're trying to get away. We're trying to survive, but Infernus gets absolutely taken out. That was a nasty move by the Paradox, and to be honest with you, it really begins the snowball effect that we're going to see throughout this part of the video. And I think I said this in the beginning, but spoiler warning, we do not exactly win lane here. Because our Infernus is down, and they do have Dynamo and Paradox here, and I do not have the health really to fight this. I don't want to get right in there and also feed additionally. So unfortunately, we're just playing to lose this Walker. We lost Walker in the first, frigging 5 minutes here at this point. Look at this thing, it's like nearly dead. I have to fall back. I have to leave. Infernus, unfortunately, just got a little too aggro in that situation. And, frankly, a lot of things went wrong there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What's happened. Now we have to get our head on straight and really maximize as much value as we can with every action we do next. And that also includes making sure Infernus doesn't die here. I'm begging him in the comms here to kind of come back a bit. He does, thankfully, and we're able to just keep them at bay. I do not want to push for a huge fight here. Typically, that's what a lot of really inexperienced players will do. But I'm going to actually burrow down, get away, back up. There's no need to push that any further. Infernus isn't exactly in the toughest shape at the moment. We don't really need to keep pushing that. Paradox could just get another nasty snipe on us. And we're pushing into tower while they're a lot stronger than us and we're a bit weaker. That's not the case. We have to look busy. We have to go get some, souls here, bust some crates and whatnot, get some bumpers, the huge. This is I guess this is kind of what I want to focus on a little bit of what to do after lane, specifically once you've lost lane. These boxes have become quite a big part of the meta as of late. It's interesting to see how that has changed over the course of Valve's testing period with Deadlock, and also how the players interact with that specifically. I'm using my burrow actually to just kind of scope the area out a little bit and kind of make enough of a space between myself and the Infernus and the enemy team. I shouldn't be here. I'm a little pushed up, but I'm also half health. We're very close to our Walker. This is where we kind of have to play defense now. We do not have a garden at the moment. That does not mean, though, we should now start pushing like crazy. Infernus are actually working together to get this farm, and mainly to get it quicker. And I think even here you'll see that we're kind of working towards getting more farm in a second here. But I'm also just kind of making sure that the lane's not getting absolutely, blasted by this Dynamo and Paradox. Just kind of keeping them at bay a little bit. Infernus, though, also kind of coming in with a retaliation. I wish I also recorded the audio sometimes for these videos because I really would like to get an idea of what I'm saying, but I do recall specifically that we were really playing defensively at this moment. Infernus and I were not interested in getting into a big fight. Or, as you can see here, we're even avoiding Dynamo right now. There's no need to absolutely go hog wild and get into a fight at this exact moment. This Dynamo, though, now, because he is looking to stay into this fight with Infernus, he's not running away as fast as he should be right now. He kind of makes it really easy for us to just kind of bully him away, make some more space. Again, but we're not chasing him, though. We're not chasing. We're actually going to go back and get our farm some more here. We're actually going to go back and make sure that we're staying within the realm of strength for this fight. And I think Infernus also does take a step back here, but he's just keeping the lane pressured enough, but he's not going in for the Guardian right now. He's not exactly pushing enough to where it could be a danger for him at this exact moment. But I will admit, though, he is now kind of in a space where at any moment, all it takes is one Paradox to just jump in there, snap to him, and then absolutely capsize him. Thankfully, though, it looks like Dynamo actually is the aggressor in this situation. He ults, but Infernus actually does a really great job of basically negating. And here's where the timing comes in. Here is where the Paradox was. I knew that was coming in. I had an idea, and I stopped her from absolutely capitalizing on the Infernus here. And we are actually now in a space where winning this lane and coming back and making it even again becomes a lot easier. We're only still under the 10-minute mark. barely, but we're in a better position than we were maybe like 2-3 minutes ago. Mid boss is here. We're gonna go for a bridge buffs here. I'm gonna go for this magic one here. The only thing that really helps me, I guess, is like the 2 abilities I have, but sometimes it's also beneficial to make sure that the other team does not get those. I don't want Paradox getting that. I also don't want Kelvin getting magic at all. And again, back to farming. We are not in any rush. There is no need to get absolutely ridiculously aggro. Paradox is still up. I am actually trying to bait Paradox with this move here. This looks silly, I know, I'm like just shooting at absolutely nothing, but I was really hoping that I can kind of bait and go Paradox into fighting here, because that's, in a weird way, baiting is kind of a big part of kind of getting a fight in place, and believe it or not, Paradox is still here. She is still kind of looking for a fight to pick, it looks like. Yeah, Paradox, I wanted to show this example to kind of get into her head. She knows where I'm going, and she's desperate to get in a fight. She thinks his lane's pushed. She doesn't see the furnace. I'm actually going to pop out a little bit. She starts pushing me here, and again, timing. Mo Krill's ult gets up very quickly, so now we control the space, we control the Paradoxes, and not only that, she made it worse for herself by ulting on us right there. Infernus, unfortunately, does not get the ult. Paradox, though, does not get the movement tech there. She doesn't get this movement. I wanted to show my perspective as well, because you might be wondering how the hell did I know Paradox was going to be there at the end. Again, she moves here. I hear Infernus. He's coming in. I actually see her for a split second. I saw that she messed up that jump. That jump is very hard to make at that angle, especially when you're alone, but it's also doubly hard when you have 3 or 4 people. Thankfully, we're not playing defensively. Thankfully, we are playing defensively, and because of that, we're now able to capsize on more lane pressure, and honestly, kind of gives us a runway to get this guarded very quickly. I have a lot of money to buy, so I'm going to go do that first. This is a build, by the way. Honestly, I will admit, if I was to potentially consider changing one part of this build, I just, by the way, go with whatever the most popular thing is on the build menu. If you ever wonder how I go about picking builds, honestly, I just kind of do a bit of a random selection. I just kind of pick whatever I feel has the less amount of items within Deadlock. I don't mind activation items and whatnot, but I don't want to make my menu and also my pickups all activation items specifically. Either way, we're going back to farming here. We really could probably push for this Guardian. I'm just noticing that Green Guardian is also getting pushed at the same time. So I don't want to put too much pressure on the enemy team. We're kind of at a Souls advantage, but macro-wise, we're not at an advantage. So I'm just kind of using my time here now to just try to get stronger. Try to stay in the shadows, try to avoid being shot. That's a big part of Mo Krill that newer players, or I feel like people who've never played Mo Krill don't seem to understand. Mo Krill is such a huge target that a big part of it is obviously dealing damage and being in the right place at the right time, but also not getting shot constantly, not making it too easy for them to shoot your massive body and everything. I know that can be hard, especially when Mo Krill's movement is actually a lot of fun. He kind of controls like a big baby seal in a weird way. Kind of reminds me of like Marble Madness almost, but I'm just kind of, again, just trying to get stronger here. Normally I cut these parts of the videos out, but I really wanted to show a bit the kind of fuller story of what was going on within this match. This is also not a very long video, and you'll see why, obviously, towards the end. But again, I think Mo Krill being such a big target, and it also goes for like really any character in Deadlock. I find that a lot of new players are not understanding how crucial the third person / the cover mechanics of Deadlock can be at times. And this is kind of a big example of it. I know Mirage is in that lane right now. I know I'm a huge, big ball of mass, and it's really easy for him to hit me, especially in this part of the map specifically. So I'm trying to do everything I can just to take cover, just to avoid fighting with him. He wants to fight me so bad. He really wants, because he knows he'll win that fight. He knows that he could take this on pretty easily. And Infernus and I also see that Mirage is kind of just baiting us into a fight here real quick. At this point, we're kind of just not really, I guess we're kind of scouting the area here a little bit. Again, we're not in a rush to fight though. We're actually more in a rush to just start stealing farm and making it so that now we're punishing them for not getting into a fight with us. This 7 though gets scared because he sees farm getting stolen. We are taking cover from 7. 7 being right in front of Infernus, especially with his bullet steal and spirit steal, can be devastating. It's interesting, by the way, just to kind of comment a bit, how the characters are so well balanced against one another. Like, you know, it's interesting to see how Infernus ults cancel out other alts, but then at the same time, there's other alts that also, in a way, negate Inferna's ult. There's a bit of a rock, paper, scissors, shoot element to it. However, a big part of how you use those elements of those characters or those ultimate abilities, I do think revolves a lot more on timing, placement, and also, you know, the overall pace of the match here. Again, controlling space, keeping you here, Paradox. There's nowhere else to go now. She feels pretty silly now. And this Haze and who else is chasing me here? Actually, I think Mirage really want me to fight. They're begging me to get. Come on, no, come back. That's not fair. You got one easy kill on Paradox. Now you're gonna run away. And honestly, no, I'm not gonna run away. If anything, I'm actually gonna move to a better position to get this movement buff to keep Mo Krill way faster. I think I was mentioning earlier, if I was going to change one thing about this build, one thing I would maybe consider is Magic Leap. I don't know how I feel about Magic Carpet, honestly. I also really like Fleet Foot because it kind of gives you the ability to just really speed up whatever you're doing and stay more within the realm of your teammates in the fight. We're in a bad position here. This Haze just comes out of nowhere. And actually, so, funny story, the reason I screw up here big time is because I accidentally clicked the Windows key. That's why I basically stopped moving there for like a brief moment. I totally screwed up there, and I really got to fix that. I honestly don't know how I messed up that part as a gamer. Hitting the Windows key and screwing my stuff up. I was so flustered there that I even thought I accidentally changed the sensitivity on my mouse. This Dynamo's running away. I see his blue trail, but I'm like, nah, that's not worth my time. I don't want to chase that. I want to keep lanes pushed. Mo Krill is very, very much focused on like farming and laning. Specifically though, within the back line, you kind of want to be just a total nuisance at the very last second with Mo Krill a lot of the time. And we're going to see that example of that here right now. Sorry to that, Kelvin, but here's again a little bit of my perspective there. That just it's all about playing defensively with Mo Krill. We were really defensive there. We got to that Walker very quickly. I will admit, a lot of the credit does go to that Bebop for letting that nasty hook, but I mean, if I wasn't there, Kelvin could have easily gotten away with like Snow Bridge or could have domed him right there. Mo Krill's ult is kind of going back to what I was kind of talking about earlier. Mo Krill's ult is all about making your teammates' ults 2 times more effective. And that could be to ultimately, again, stop other ults or to basically prolong the devastation of your teammates' ultimates or your teammates' abilities and everything. No matter what, as long as you grab one person in the right situation, you have now made it easy for your teammates to land shots, to land abilities, to land ultimates and everything. So it's a big math equation with Mo Krill. It's all about like, okay, I know this ult and this ult are up right now and are activated at the moment. Let me go ahead and make it even crazier and more strong. Unfortunately, our teammates also figured that out with that big team fight right there, and I was really hoping Ivy could have stayed alive. I wish I was to support Krill in this situation because she just dies, I think, to the poison or some other ability. Maybe it might have been Mirage's whatever thing he does, his ability. I have not played Mirage, if I'm being honest, so sorry. Apologies to all the Mirage fans out there that are mad that I don't know what ability I'm referring to here. This Paradox, I was kind of hoping we could replicate that same thing with the Kelvin earlier, but Bebop, unfortunately, I think misses the hook, and we really can't capitalize off that. But there's still a fight going on, which I thought was kind of interesting. This is me basically moving to position as Mo Krill to kind of get behind the fight to kind of see where the fight's going or what's going on. I'm also calling out in chat. You just can't hear it. Asking Bebop where he's going. Unfortunately, I don't think Bebop even had a microphone, so that Paradox just kind of got away. We kept laying pressure, though. We made sure that defensively the Walker's not at a bad spot for green, so again, we're just kind of making sure, we're just kind of, Bebop and I over here just kind of keeping the backline pushed, keeping souls moving, doing farm together and stuff. And one thing that I want to kind of address, by the way, is the amount of people that get mad when you're getting help with farm. It's like, bro, if anything, you are speeding up the process of getting money and making it so that, you don't have to focus on sitting there by yourself and making yourself an easy target for the enemy. Don't you want to get out of farm quicker? Or I think time and getting out of farm quickly is way more important than getting the extra like what $20, 30, 40 bucks that you would have got if you did everything by yourself and took more time to do it. Grabbing the magic here. Another situation where I feel like I could have probably given it to a teammate, but I just wanted to make sure that we absolutely got that and the other team did not. Taking a step back, I hear Infernus's ult go off, and thankfully Infernus absolutely slams and nails this 7. I really wanted to come in there and help. So at this point now, I'm in position to just ultimately keep people away, and then utilize my dust ability to make it so that the Paradox can't shoot. I accidentally opened up the menu there by accident, and then I see the Haze is still up there. I can't believe that Haze is going, using my ping, making sure Mirage is not enjoying that chase as well. And Paradox, unfortunately, stays with the team there. So Paradox could have probably arguably gone in there and maybe helped Haze, but that Mirage stop would have probably stopped him from tornadoing the Ivy and Abrams and helping Haze get away. So we just made sure that was a guaranteed. This is honestly a risky move coming up right now. We are actually committed to doing mid boss here, and I'm going to be quiet for the rest of this, just so you can see how nervous our team was.
Do we have any answer for that? I don't have ult.
All right, so Reju's coming down. They have Kelvin, Dynamo, Paradox, 7. I mean, honestly, they have an absolute wallop to contest this, so we're kind of... Honestly, they didn't even show up. which is crazy. They probably could have and done a lot of serious damage to us right there, or at least contested that. I was surprised to see that they didn't even bother to contest it to get a pick off of it, because they know our team's there. I don't know. I guess they got scared. They backed off. I guess they were just surprised to see that we all went mid. I guess they weren't anticipating that kind of an aggressive play, but it panned out in the long run. And we're just back to farming mode. Back to setting the back line. I know I'm Mo Krill. I don't need to get in the front right now. And honestly, it's kind of nice to use this rejuve to just get stronger. Just basically make it so that it's a lot harder now for the enemy team to get aggressive on us while we're getting stronger with rejuve and potentially even Soul Urn. Look at that. I am going to run Soul Urn as Mo Krill. This is where I like Mo Krill's movement. I don't know why. I feel like Mo Krill is just... It's like Marble Madness. If you know how to do Marble Madness, it's great. I'm actually using the Urn here to bait out the Paradox and Haze here. And we absolutely... that actually works out in a lot better favor for us than anticipated here. Because now Haze and Paradox are so pushed in. I'm not going to sit right next to Abrams because we're just two big targets. It's going to be so easy for them to both hit us here. Abrams is actually backing up here now. I'm going to use the #1 to actually get my health up right there. One thing to call out with Mo Krill's self-heal is that it's only a self-heal provided that you have an enemy or a target to hit. Thankfully, this Abrams reads the room, gets these punches. This Haze right there, that's a huge example of losing and wasting your ult.
I'm here. I got all photo ball.
So yeah, Abrams is going to try to ult there, but believe it or not, Paradox actually shows up from behind and then just snipes him. So that's... I fall back here. I know we have rejuve. I don't need to be up here though. Again, I can just get stronger, back up. I like to play Mo Krill very passively, I guess. Mainly just because like him being passive, him being in the back line is kind of a danger, because if you get caught with him and he grabs you, you're screwed. If you're in the back line, if you're Haze and somehow I grab you as Mo Krill, that's kind of a death sentence, especially if you're way too advanced, especially if you're even just a little advanced. Look at this right now. We're basically just choking the hell out of this other team here. Again, just going back to my last video, the whole choke out. I hope people understand what I meant by the choke out part. I guess people did a little bit. I feel like that's a big part of what makes Deadlock. And I wonder if it's maybe a little too aggressive at times. I'm not sure if Valve plans to fix that. I mentioned this in a previous video, and if anyone who's new to the channel has not seen my previous video, check it out. Check out all the other Deadlock stuff. I think it's been very interesting in terms of the journey that Deadlock's gone on, especially through my videos. But one thing I want to kind of point out is one time in a video I mentioned that I feel like there might need to be a balance for the Urn a little bit, to where I feel like the turn-in spot to the top right or top, the closer turn-in spots to your base isn't enough of a buff Sometimes I wonder if it's maybe more beneficial if you made it the tournament spot the very center of your base itself or the actual hub of your base. So ultimately, by you turning Urn in, you're also still guaranteeing the other team could push and potentially grab objective. I don't know. I feel like feel free to argue with me on that in the comments, by the way. I would love to hear your opinions on that idea. Again, the idea that I'm referring to here is like if you were to make it so that there's another turn-in option. Shut up, Hayes. Shut up, I'm talking. You can make another turn-in option where if your team is down hard enough, like your team is down 30k, like in this example here, that you gave them the option to where they could turn the Urn in actually in the spawn or at the spawn of their own base. I feel like that'd be necessary in some cases. There are some games I've had that are like total blowouts, and you know I think to no fault of the other team sometimes, but I don't know. I guess that just boils down to how Valve wants to balance this game, and also potentially how the players who play this game a lot want to balance it out. We're backing out. Rejuve's gone. We have to get the hell out of here. I am very, very hurt at the moment, and I think a big part that the newer players also struggle with as well, I'm going to call out, is that in situations like this, every new player is like, oh my god, quick, we got to push right now. We got to drop everything, just push yellow all together. And we theoretically could do that. That could actually turn out to be a positive outcome. It's just a little risky right now. Especially when the whole team was like, earlier, you saw a minute ago, I was like next to 300 health. It's nicer here just to take a second to get some fresh air. We don't need to be in a fight the whole time within this game. A big part of this game, and I guess really to talk more about the, momentum and movement or the overall pacing of a match within Deadlock is very focused around controlling space, but also very focused around, making sure that you're doing that space with a low investment but a higher ROI, if that makes any sense. Like obviously that mid boss play was very risky and it turned out to yield positive results here. But this play where I'm going to run Urn potentially is right now might be a bit of a struggle, I guess. However, keep in mind though, technically I don't even have to bring the Urn over there. I could just kind of bait the Urn, which is what I do here in this situation. I bait picking up the Urn, like, oh, we're going to actually turn it in and drop it. I actually drop it off earlier, and now I know Geist is in trouble here. So this is me, again, controlling the space, controlling, like, the time potentially a little bit if need be. I have my ult, so if, like, they are still chasing Geist, then I'm able to step in and stop them, but that doesn't turn out to be what happens here. Actually, believe it or not, Abrams comes in strong. I'm able to just kind of sit back a little bit. I see where they're headed, so this is, again, me using my ult to maximize value. And when I say maximize value, I mean also to shut down potential value that the other team might have. So that Mirage was trying to get away. I actually get away a little bit quicker. And this is kind of where my teammates now can control a lot of the space. And we're also a lot stronger than these guys are right now. That Walker just went down. It was very close to death anyways. Look, this is poor Kelvin's gone. That's over. Like, this fight just turns into an absolute mess for this other team. This other team should not have been out too far. Like, they were a little bit pushed up. And then we see where Hayes is going. Nah, she's not getting away. Yeah, this is turning out to be a bit of a wipeout for the other team here. They just are making all the wrong choices. They're getting a little too panicked here and there. And by the way, this Paradox, that would be cute if no one was going to contest you at yellow, but you have no minion support at all. Like, getting rid of this Walker is going to take you, like, way too long. She teleports, though. I will give her credit there. I attempt to maybe teleport, but I'm like, well, screw that. I have a zip line. Let's just get right up in there. Let's just, at this point now, the team's down by 3. I don't know. Again, going back to balancing, this is kind of where I wonder, like, wow, I feel like this shouldn't be this easy to do, just a one big 2-punch hit to get to win here. We're just so ahead, and I don't know. I guess there's still, in my opinion, I still think a lot of the balancing right now that might need to be addressed a bit kind of rest on the end stage of Deadlock match specifically. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I talked about this in my State of the Game video that I had a while back. But it just feels as if though, like, if you have Rejuve and you get if you get Rejuve down and then you want to get the Patron down, Patron going down, I don't think there's enough of a barrier for the losing team in this situation to really bounce back. It's a lot harder. They have to pull off a lot of Hail Marys to get to that point. And that can be fun when those Hail Marys work,
but odds are is that, you know, to coordinate that many Hail Marys at once is very hard within this game. That is, again, though, going back to the challenge of what I was talking about, the main central point of this video is how you use those ultimates and those abilities, and also your spacing and timing here. I just am way too out of position here. This Bebop is grabbing Urn. That's me not reading the room a little bit. Just to fast forward a little bit after me respawning. I mean, we go for mid boss here, and we get it. So I guess we totally missed out on the big team fight that happened there. I kind of skipped ahead, but I don't know. Do you really need to see it at this point? I mean, look what's happening here. Like this is where the snowball becomes an absolute avalanche, and the game's just basically over at this point. Like, you know, the enemy team wasn't able to throw 5 Hail Marys to save the game. I don't know. Part of me wonders that it's either the matchmaking is the issue right now, which is very possible because there's only 10,000 players, but on the other hand, there's also 10,000 players that are playing this game religiously, like myself. Like, you know, these are the diehards right now that are playing, and it's pretty impressive given that, you know, Deadlock is still like an invite-only kind of game. I don't know. I do wonder about some of the balancing aspects of Deadlock, and I guess it makes me excited about in terms of, you know, what might be next. But I do also worry, though, that a big part of when Deadlock first comes out is it's going to be that you're going to be put into a room now with this guy who's been playing for like a whole year, and you just joined now because it's new. This kind of goes back into what I mentioned earlier about the bot experience within this game, or even other game modes, but that's neither here nor there. Check out this clip right here. Yeah, so, I mean, I actually get stunned here by the 7 ult. I don't know what item that is. It's like the one that, like, helps his lightning in some way, but this is where the steamroll just happens. That dynamo wasn't valuable enough. This Abrams just comes right in, crashing in, and then, oh, deflect! Oh my god, Abrams, oh, come on, you can do this, parry! Oh, Jesus, oh god, stun, parry, punch, oh, charge into him, get it, you got it! Oh, I'm parried again, dead. Well, that doesn't matter. There's still like 4 of us and only 2 of them, so at this point, the game's pretty much over. But I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of ramble on in these videos a little bit. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on some of these videos and the topics I discuss. Definitely check out RP Boo. This is the music that he plays a little bit. He's a great musician, so check him out. But thanks for watching. Bye.